And welcome football fans to the first round of the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Football State Championships. We're coming to you live from the home of the Cheesemakers, Doc Adams Field on the campus of Tillamook High School for this playoff contest between the 8th seed Tillamook Cheesemakers and the 9th ranked Henley Hornets. Good afternoon. I'm Josh Eldridge, joined by Kevin Petrick and Nick Bradford running the live stream. It's week number 10 of Henley Hornets football. In the opening round of the playoffs, Henley drew the 9 seed and now has traveled roughly 320 miles, dropped 4,000 feet to sea level for this one. Kevin, these teams still getting ready, but it's definitely an exciting atmosphere here on the road.
Josh, this is the good stuff.
Yes, sir, it is.
This is what you play all season for. We've got a great atmosphere today. You don't like to key in on the weather, but I think the weather is going to be important today. And right now we've got pretty windy conditions, but it's dry.
Right.
And I think that the weather could play an important part in today's game.
Right, wind blowing out to the east for this one. No rain yet. There might be some in the forecast a little bit later on. We're here on the road. Henley, they drew the Cheesemakers. They look to be skilled in a lot of the same positions. Their quarterback, number 2, Trent Bushler, has 1,700 offensive yards, 15 total touchdowns this season. These teams are supposed to be the most evenly matched in the state, as well as the 8-9 matchup. Should be a fun football game we see here today, too.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The skill sets, as you mentioned, very similar between both teams. Some of their like opponents, the end result was the same, so we should see a close game.
Coming up, we're going to talk with Henley head coach Alex Stork. Take a look at the action we saw last night, as a lot of the games played in the bracket happened last night in the first round of the OSA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Football State Championships. Henley Hornets football is next on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place and then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
John Bowers Construction and Landscape Maintenance is in urgent need of landscape team members now. Call them at 541-205-1464 to apply. They're also looking for a construction team lead and a landscape maintenance team lead. They offer extremely competitive wages, paid vacation, and so much more. Call John Bowers Construction at 541-205-1464 to apply today. Email johnbowerslandscape@hotmail.com. CCB number 188923. Equal opportunity employer.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
The Coach's Corner with head coach Alex Stork is brought to you by Abby's Legendary Pizza.
Welcome back to 104.3 and 960 Sports. Getting ready for Henley playoff football. They're taking on the Tillamook Cheesemakers. I'm joined now by Henley Hornets head coach Alex Stork. Coach, how you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
So you're back in the playoffs after a year of missing it in COVID. What does getting to the playoffs mean to you as a coach?
It's huge, you know. The biggest thing, it's another week with this group of guys, and that's what we've been talking about all season long is how do we earn more weeks together, and this is just another week, and we've had so much fun this year being together, and then this is just another week that we get to spend with one another.
I'll take you back to the end of the regular season last week against Hidden Valley, a good 10-7 win. I think your defense did a great job. Talk about what you liked from your defense last week.
Yeah, I was impressed with the complementary football that we played on both sides. You know, offensively, we made some big first downs in key situations. I felt like on third down we were able to get off the field defensively in some big spots and then convert offensively in some big spots. It was more of a field position game than we'd played this year so far, so I was really proud with how our guys responded to some real adverse situations throughout the game, and especially that late stop on the goal line late in the game. Our defensively made some huge plays.
I can't remember quite how many times I said either Tolson or Garrett's name on the defensive side of the ball, but those guys played real well. What did you see from those two specifically last week?
Seniors, leaders, guys that just refuse to lose. So proud of those guys, so proud of so many guys' efforts out there, but those guys definitely stood out.
Last week, I had brought up to you about your passing game offensively. I said, I don't know, if you could lean on that come playoff time because your running game is so good, but we haven't seen so much of the passing game. Last week, I was really surprised. Shaw threw the ball great. I completed 8 of 15 passes. He looked really good and proved me wrong, quite frankly. What did you see from him last week?
Yeah, that was a big area of focus for us last week, making throws. We knew they were going to load the box against us with their D-line and linebackers, and we're going to have to make some easy throws and some more difficult throws. And I thought our wide receivers did a really good job of running some clean routes. Our O-line gave us some good time, and Shaw made some good throws.
You got Tillamook this week, and 8 versus 9 should be a close matchup. What do you see from those guys?
They're a good team, well coached, very athletic. They have athletes across their entire roster. They've played against some really good opponents throughout the season. Their only losses have come to the top 5 teams in the state, a few losses to the top 5 teams in the state. So they're going to be ready. They've played big games. We've played some big games now. So just excited for some playoff football.
All right, good luck, Coach.
Thanks.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quatrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
On Top Tree Services have one of the highest buckets in town. No job too small, no tree too tall. Operating since 2017, this crew's ready for your land clearing, tree removal, tree trimming, stump grinding, and fire prevention. On Top Tree Services offers same-day estimates. I can't mention this enough. If a tree falls on your house or vehicle, they offer a 24/7 emergency tree or limb removal. Give them a call today at 541-882-8707. On Top Tree Services, fast, easy, and reliable. CCB 216014.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
And we welcome you back to the campus at Tillamook High School. The site of today's OSA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Football State Championship. We're in the first round. The Henley Hornets taking on the Tillamook Cheesemakers. And as we take a look around the rest of the bracket, Kevin, we are one of only 2 games going on today. The other game starting in about an hour as number 10 Baker visits number 7 Marist Catholic. But we've got results for all the other games in the bracket, so we'll start at the top of the bracket, work our way down as number 1 Marshfield taking care of Madras last night, 43-0. As we move further down, Skyline Conference foe and Basin rival Mazama took care of North Eugene, 42-0. Number 4 Banks beat Hidden Valley, who we saw last week, 29-0. Estacada, the 3 versus 14 Staten beat them 37-0. So Estacada moved on there. Number 6 LeGrand beating Gladstone, who's the 11th best team, 34-12. Again, Baker and Marist are still yet to play today, and Cascade took care of business against Astoria last night. The 2 versus 15 matchup saw the second best team in the state, Cascade, beat Astoria 67-24. Kevin, I'm not sure if you kept count there. That's 4 shutouts in the first round. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that there are some elite teams in 4A. Those top 4 or 5 teams, they mean business. They didn't even give up a point, most of those teams last night. So that's where the winner of this game is trying to get. The winner of this game will get Marshfield, probably at Marshfield next week. So that will be the goal of both of these teams here today.
Without a doubt. We'll get you updated on the bracket as we move throughout the broadcast tonight. But right now, the captains of these teams meeting at center field for Tillamook. You've got number 50, Dylan Stein, number 2, Trent Bushler, number 51, Jared Landlot, and number 52, Aiden Johnson. For the Hornets, it was Colton Smith, Garrett Northcutt. You also got Tolson Higgins and Shaw Stork out there meeting. And it looks like we've got our results. We'll give them to you when we come back. One more break before kickoff on the OSA On Point Community Credit Union 4A State Championships on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Well, welcome you back to the OSA On Point Community Credit Union 4A State Championships. We missed the kickoff. They went off a little bit early, but here we are. Tillamook's going to start with the football. They start things off at the 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Out there for the Cheesemakers. They are led by their quarterback, Trent Bushler, and we'll get you the rest of the starting lineups after this 1st and 10 play from the 42-yard line. Bushler going to end up with the keeper trying to come to the near side. He gets past midfield, breaks past one defender. He's being chased out of bounds at the 40-yard line on the other side of midfield. So it only takes one play for the Cheesemakers to break off 15 yards. As Trent Bushler out there, 1,700 total offensive yards on the season. He's out there with wide receivers number 8, Zion Hurleyman, and also number 12, Marshall Allen at the wide receiver. Peyton Reiger out there as well at a wide receiver with Parker McKibben. Their running back, Judah Werner. And the offensive line will get you after this. 1st and 10 as the Cheesemakers drive from left to right, now on the Henley side of midfield. As this 1st and 10 snap, it's going to be handed off up the middle to Werner. He's fighting for every single yard, finally brought down after a gain of 4. Will bring up 2nd down. For the Tillamook Cheesemakers, snapping things this afternoon is Jared Landlot. His guards on either side of him is Dylan Steen to his left and Sam Diaz to his right. At right tackle is Aiden Johnson. At left tackle is Austin Barry Killian. 2nd and 4, and we've got a stoppage of play. It looks like a timeout going to be called by the officials, and an equipment issue, I believe, is going to be the call with Connor Sieben. So as we look north at Don Adams Field on the campus of Tillamook High School, the Tillamook Cheesemakers are driving east, now in Henley territory, and it looks like in to replace Sieben is going to be Nolan Northcutt. It's going to be 2nd and about 6 for the Cheesemakers from the 37-yard line. This one, another handoff to Werner, finds some room on the near side, has a gap and is taken down at the 25, a gain of about 12 and good for a Tillamook 1st down.
Last week, Henley's linebackers did a really nice job of charging the line and making those tackles, and so far we're seeing Tillamook block those backers and having some success running the football.
Werner's got 3 wide receivers out to his left. He looked to his left, but is instead going to keep it, come up the right side. And he dives forward, gets to about the 13-yard line, called out a gain of 13. And good for a Tillamook first down, now 1st and goal.
Colton Smith in on the stop. And just at first glance, Tillamook appears to be a team that blocks very well. Their running game has had no hiccups yet so far.
Sorry, 1st and 10 from the 13, not quite 1st and goal. Bushler takes the snap, is going to hand it off to Warner. Tries to go up the right side, is taken down, a small gain of about 4 yards. Gets him inside the 10, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Nice stop there by Colby Scholes.
And we're going to have a timeout taken by the Henley Hornets, their first of this half. We're going to stick with you through this first timeout as the Tillamook Cheesemakers moving the ball fairly well early. They started this drive at their own 43-yard line, are now inside the 10. It's taken them 4 plays to get here. And Kevin, just like you said, they're blocking out early. Both these teams are, well, I guess for Tillamook specifically, they're not waiting to shake off any playoff game jitters.
Yeah, they came out ready to play. I'm sure the coaches right now are trying to make some adjustments to just get off of those blocks. You just can't get blocked, and that's hasn't happened in the Henley defense very much this year, but on this drive so far it has happened, and Tillamook has had really not much problem at all running the football.
Take a look at Tillamook this season. Haven't seen them yet in the Klamath Basin. They are ranked 8th in the state. They finished 2nd in the Kalapa League behind number 4 Banks. Banks finished with an 8-1 overall record. Tillamook 6-4. And Astoria also made the playoffs from that conference as the number 16 team. Number 15 team. Both squads back out onto the field. It'll be 2nd and about 6 from the 9. This one, a keeper for Bushler. He's trying to bounce around to the outside. Gets around Garrett Northcutt. Trying to find room to get inside. Finally taken down by Colby Scholes in on the tackle. A gain of 3 brings up 3rd down for the Cheesemakers.
Tyler Harper also able to get in the backfield and kind of trip him up. And that brings up a 3rd down. Henley defense has done a nice job this year in these situations. We'll see if they can prevent a touchdown here on 3rd and about 6.
Lining up to the near side for the Cheesemakers, number 12, Marshall Allen, a senior. As for the first time, Bushler taking the snap from under center. It's a fumbled snap, and Bushler fell on it, I believe, in time. Regardless, a tough play on 3rd down for the Cheesemakers. That'll bring up 4th and about 7 as they lost a yard on the fumbled snap.
Good break for the Hornets right there. And we'll see if Tillamook can put 3 on the board here early.
McKibben to hold. And that'll be Junior Gonzalez to kick. It's about a 20-yard field goal attempt from the far hash. The kick is up, it's low, but it will be just a little bit wide right. Looked a little low to me, and Henley gets away with one there. That's the, if you count misses, that is the 3rd straight field goal miss against the Henley Hornets. Hidden Valley missed 2 to end last week's game, and there's one from Tillamook right there. So the Hornets will take over possession with 8:55 to go in the first quarter. They take over 1st and 10 from about the, well, let's see, they're moving it up. Are they able to move up to the 20 to start 1st and 10 after a turnover like that? It looks like that's what they're doing.
I think on a missed kick, they'll take over where the ball was kicked from.
Okay.
Perhaps.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from their Henley 20 as they drive from left to right. They are going east at Don Adams Field. This first snap is a handoff to Tolson Higgins. He finds himself a little bit of room, is brought down finally after a gain of 11. And a Hornets first down as the Hornets offense led out there by Shaw Stork. Stork so far this season, throwing 11 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's out there, wide receiver core of Colton Smith, Owen Sheen, Austin Fitz, and Colby Scholes. Tolson Higgins, the running back, and we'll get you the starting line after this. 1st and 10 from the Henley 31, still driving upfield. Shaw Stork takes the snap, looks to hit Colton Smith on the far side of the field in a kind of a screen pass. Smith is wrapped up early, tries to break loose, and does. He was hit behind the line of scrimmage, goes forward for a gain of 5, and a very late flag on the play in front of the Henley sideline.
That was a terrific effort from Colton Smith. Looked like he was down behind the line of scrimmage, was able to wiggle away and pick up about 5, but there was some extracurricular activity after that play, and we'll see what the officials come up with. Personal
foul against the Hornets. So this one coming back, you got to wonder what was said on one of the first plays from scrimmage.
Yeah, there was a scuffle after the tackle, and that's going to cost Henley 15.
Not the way you like to start a playoff game. Out there for the Hornets as well at centers, Braden Roach. On either side of him, to the left is Juan Manzo and Elijah Roloffs to the right. Emiliano Ortiz, the right tackle, and Owen Northcutt, the left tackle. So they're moving the ball back. I believe they lose the down as well, so it'll be second and just about 20. Two receivers to the near side of Stork, one off to his right. Shaw takes the snap, hand off to Tolson again. Tolson tries to find his way around the outside, broke loose a little bit for a gain of 7. That'll bring up third down and wait to see the marker, about 15, maybe a little bit less. Still third down and very long to go for the Hornets.
It's like a passing situation here for Henley, and as we mentioned, the weather may get wet later, and Henley's going to want to do all they can while it's dry. I think that'll help their passing game out right here.
Third and 15. Stork takes the snap, rolls to his left, feels a bit of pressure, throws to his right. Incomplete pass intended for Tolson Higgins along the far sideline. That'll bring up fourth for the Hornets. And with 7.5 to go in the first, still a scoreless ball game, the Hornets going to be forced to punt. Owen Sheen back there to do the honors. And back to receive for Tillamook is Garrison Gunder.
That pass fell incomplete, but I think if Higgins had caught the ball, there were enough Cheesemakers around to make the tackle before the first down. So we'll see if Owen can get us some field position.
The snap to Sheen. A nice punt, kind of a line drive, bounces around at the 50, kicks past the 40, inside the 30 to the 25, and goes out of bounds. Owen Sheen with about a 30-yard punt, about a 60-yard punt.
You know, I hate to keep bringing it up.
Right.
He puts the roll on those punts.
I mean, it bounced at the 50 and rolled another 25 yards practically.
And that's a key part of the game. That's a great switch of field right there, and that gives the Cheesemakers a lot longer field to play on. Well done by Owen.
So the Cheesemakers take over with 7:30 to go in the first quarter. Still a scoreless ball game, now on their own 25. Trent Bushler out there with his squad once more. Two receivers to the near side, as this one is going to be a keeper for Bushler, trying to come to the near side. He gets hit by Northcutt, tied up, and a gain of about 3 on the play, maybe even less than that. Second down.
That was a nice square hit by Garrett right there. And we're going to need to see a lot from those linebackers today, just like we did last week. Northcutt, Higgins, Colby Scholes, and the rest of the crew.
It'll be second down and 8. Bushler with his running back Werner right behind him. All wide receiver set out to the left. This is going to be a handoff to Werner. Werner finds some room up the middle, is tackled from behind by Sieben. Still good enough for a first down, a gain of about 15 on the play. And for Tillamook this afternoon, their 4th first down.
It's been a few games since we've seen running backs break into that secondary, and it's happened a few times today. Henley has some work to do up front.
First and 10 from the 42. This one a handoff to Werner, coming up the near side, and is wrapped up and hit on the other side of midfield at the 49. Still a gain of 8 on the play, maybe 9. Brings up second down.
It's a good aggressive tackle by Tyler Harper coming up from his safety spot. And we're also seeing a little bit of pace here. Tillamook is on the ball quickly.
Still all wide receiver set out to the left side of Bushler. He's got his running back Werner right behind him. Bushler takes the snap, looks to throw to his left, instead runs right. He's got some room along the near sideline. He's got daylight. He's inside the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Tillamook. Sixteenth touchdown on the year for Trent Bushler, and that one goes for 49 yards and 6 points.
Tillamook is controlling the ends right now on the line of scrimmage, and you can't give Bushler room to run because he's quick.
And now waiting the extra point attempt to be kicked by Junior Gonzalez. The kick is up and it's blocked. Looked like Connor Sieben got his hand in there, so the score will remain 6-0. We're still in the first quarter, 6:04 left to go. The Tillamook Cheesemakers lead the first round of the OSA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Championships on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Welcome back to Tillamook, Oregon, the first round of the OSA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Playoffs. Tillamook scored the touchdown, and the ensuing kickoff is going to be brought out to about the 34-yard line by the Hornets. Sort of a ground ball kick, but Henley gets decent starting field position with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Kevin, that touchdown drive for Tillamook going 4 plays, 90 seconds, capping it off with a 49-yard Trent Bushler touchdown run. And I stand corrected, that is actually his 18th touchdown of the season.
He's very productive back there, and he knows how to score. Now it's time for Henley to do the same.
1st and 10 for the Hornets from the 34-yard line, driving toward the west. Henley going to hand this one off to Tolson Higgins. Looked like he lost his footing a little bit in the turf, able to find his way forward for a gain of a couple. Brings up 2nd down. And I noticed this turf field, yes, the artificial turf, is still a little slick from the rain we had last night. So seen a couple players slipping and sliding. Hope with the sun beating down on it, it dries up a little bit, but definitely something to look for coming into this game.
Right.
2nd and 7 from the Hornets. 2 receivers to the near side. It's Smith and Fitz. Smith in motion, going from left to right. Stork takes the snap, looks to his right, tries to look down the middle, scrambles, rolls to his right, sits back in the pocket, fires a pass over the middle, caught by Owen Sheen, and a gain of about 14 on the play. Good enough for a Hornet first down.
I like the patience right there shown by Shaw Stork. He had a lot of pressure, had to dance around back there a bit, but was able to find Owen, who come back to the football. Well done.
Taking this one now, still on their side of the field at the 49-yard line. Sheen set up to the near side, Fitz at the tight end, Smith to the far side. It'll be a handoff to Tolson Higgins along the far side. He gets to the the 45 on the other side of midfield, brought down a gain of about 7, 2nd down.
Another nice run by Higgins. And as we've seen all year, Henley likes to get big chunks of yards and use their speed game. And it's almost better that they're playing on turf today than maybe at home in the mud. This is a good situation for the Hornets.
Northcutt checking into the game at the running back as Higgins on the sideline. It'll be 2nd and about 3. This is going to be a misdirection. Northcutt gets wrapped up in the backfield, but he breaks the tackle. Finally taken down. A loss of 1 on the play. Brings up 3rd down. Looked to be about a misdirection and did not fool the Cheesemakers. Call it a loss of, they're going to say 2 on the play. Brings up 3rd and 5.
It was a good effort by Garrett, but Judah Werner for the Cheesemakers. He brought a load in there, big hit, and that brings up a 3rd down situation for the Hornets.
Hornets so far 0 for 1 on 3rd down as Luke Bennett checks into the game, slot receiver on the near side. 4 wide receivers for the Hornets, 2 to either side of Stork. Hands it off to Northcutt, who tries to find his way through and ends up getting swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, brings up 4th down.
That's an unfortunate down there for the Hornets. They could use a little momentum here. They trail 6-0, and there's still plenty of time.
Sheen to punt on 4th down, and back to receive for the Cheesemakers, Garrison Gunder, the junior. .3:12 remaining in the first. Tillamook leads 6-0. The snap to Sheen, kicks it at the 45. A high punt is going to hit turf at about 20. I believe maybe a Tillamook Cheesemaker touched the ball regardless. I think someone from the Mook fell on it. and they're going to take over at about the 32-yard line.
Owen going for the high spiral that time, and it almost caused enough confusion back there. A little luck, and there could have been a turnover on that catch.
1st and 10 for Tillamook, and as a title sponsor of the OSAA State Championships, On Point does everything it can to help their team and community get ahead. On Point delivers the local banking and lending its members need to reach their goals and make more possible. Visit On Point at onpointcu.com. Tillamook on the ball, 1st and 10 from the 32. They're driving east. Bushler takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Werner. Werner tries to find some room up the middle, finds a little bit of space, a gain of 8 on the play. 2nd down for the Cheesemakers.
Tillamook's run game continues to look impressive. It'll be 2nd and short.
2 receivers to the near side for the Cheesemakers, Zayon Hurleman and Marshall Allen. And Werner still in the backfield with Bushler under center. The snap. It is a play-action pass as Bushler rolling to the near side, and breaking up the pass to the near side is Tyler Harper. Intended target was Hurleman, and good coverage by Harper trying to push Hurleman out of bounds before he could land.
That was nice defense by Harper. Good timing, and the ball fell incomplete. Now we have a 3rd down and about 1.
3rd down today, Tillamook 0 for 1. Bushler this time in the gun with Werner right behind him. 1 wide receiver to the far side and a bunch set to the near side. And it looks like a keeper for Bushler. And coming up the near side, he's going to get the 1st down and then some. Crosses midfield and runs out of bounds at about the 46. And called that a gain of 10 on the play and a 1st down for Tillamook.
Bushler looks a lot like Shaw Stork in many ways.
Yes, he does.
He has a similar frame, and he's quick and picks up a lot of yards from that quarterback position.
1st and 10, Tillamook now driving into Henley territory at the 47. This one a handoff to Werner on the far side, and he stood up and then rolled over. A loss on the play of about 3 or 4 yards brings up 2nd down, and Bushler sold the fake so well that Werner, when he was hit, kind of stood up. I didn't think he had the ball. I tried to find the ball, and in comes the rest of the Henley Hornets cavalry to knock down Werner.
Yeah, that was all Colby Scholes. He got a hold of that shoe, and he hung on until he got help. Good tackle, loss of about 4 on that play.
So 2nd and 13 is the official measurement. They take it from right at midfield. The yard to gain is the 37. Bushler drops back to pass, dumps it near side, incomplete. Intended target, Marshall Allen. He had a little bit of space, but Sieben closed in quick, and Allen could not hold on to the ball. Brings up 3rd down and long, 3rd and 13 so far this afternoon. Tillamook is 1 for 2 on 3rd down conversions. Looking for a long one here, Kev.
Yeah, Tillamook hasn't had to throw the ball much today. They've only thrown a few times, and I think we'll see another attempt here.
3rd and 13 for the Cheesemakers. Taking it from right at midfield as they drive from left to right. Bushler takes a snap, drops back to pass, doesn't see much, tries to keep it himself, goes up the middle. There's a flag in the backfield. Bushler is brought down after a gain of about 2. But there is a flag well behind the line of scrimmage, and we'll see what the call ends up being on 3rd down.
It looks like Henley stunted at least one linebacker to apply some pressure back there, and it was successful.
So holding penalty against the Cheesemakers is declined, brings up 4th and 11, and the punt unit comes out for Tillamook, and 2nd stop of the day for this Henley D.
Another nice defensive stand. This game reminds me of last week a little bit, where Henley was down by a touchdown, kind of had to play tough defense, bend but don't break, fight for it. They really need to get that offense to get down the field and even up the score.
So to kick for Tillamook is Junior Gonzalez, and back to receive is Tyler Harper and Luke Bennett. The snap by Gonzalez. He takes his time to kick it, and getting downfield quickly is Tillamook, and they're going to let that one bounce around and get inside the 1. Did he get to it? And, oh, man, that's close. Are they going to give it to him inside the 1? Wow. What a punt. Well, what more can you say? Maybe it looked like the ball was in the end zone when it was all said and done.
They are waving touchback.
They are waving touchback?
Yeah.
Okay, I had seen the guy closest say that was good, but
it was very close.
Very close.
It was a nice kick. Put it right inside the 5 and just rolled over the line. So Henley will get the ball at the 20. Start 1st and 10.
1st and 10 with 1:17 left to go in the first quarter, a game in which Tillamook leads 6-0. And the Hornets on their 3rd offensive possession. They'll start 1st and 10 from the 20. Shaw Stork awaiting the snap. He's got Tolson Higgins off to his right. This one's going to be a keeper for Stork. Tries to roll out to the right. Tries to find some room. Gets a couple blockers. Rolls out to the far sideline. And a decent gain on the play. I think we'll see where he ran out of bounds. But very close to the sticks. I think still just short of the first down.
Henley looks very comfortable running outside the tackles today. That's where they've had their success, either with Tolson Higgins or Shaw Stork. And that's where they can get that open field and use their speed to their advantage. It's a nice carry, picked up about 8.
Yeah, 2nd and 2 coming up for the Hornets offense. Colton Smith to the near side. Also Colby Scholes. One wide receiver to the far side for Shaw Stork. Stork hands this one off to Tolson. Tolson trying to bounce around the outside. Leaps over one defender and brought down at the 32. Should be good enough for a Hornets first down, and it is.
There was a nice little kick-out block by Oren Northcutt. That enabled Tolson to kind of cut that back and pick up the first down. Henley on the football now. Coach Pash calling in the play.
Same kind of formation it looks like for the Hornets. Owen Sheen to the near side. Colby Scholes, I think, set up in a bunch and kind of trips to the far side for Stork. And Tolson Higgins off to the left of Shaw Stork. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Stork takes the snap. Another handoff to Tolson. Has a little bit of room. Fights forward and a gain of about 3 on the play. 2nd and 7.
Higgins has been a good, hard runner all year. Nice little gain there. Tillamook not afraid to go man-to-man on the edges. We may see a Henley throw on that here in the second quarter.
And that will bring us to the end of the first quarter, a game in which Tillamook leads 6-0. You've got the OSA On Point Community Credit Union 4A football championships. We're in the first round from Tillamook High School on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home.
And we're getting right back into the action. We're starting the second quarter, 2nd and 7 for the Henley Hornets. Tillamook leads 6-0, and the Hornets driving in the first round of the OSA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Championships. Shaw Stork takes the snap. Tolson Higgins gets the handoff, gets by one defender, trying to cut up the far sideline and brought down. And right in front of the sticks. We'll see if they give it to him. He knocked over the first down marker. And I believe, God, just looking at it, to me he got it. And we'll see what the official ruling is, and that's a first down.
Good carry by Tolson once again. A run on the outside proves to be successful. We'll see if Henley sticks with that formula.
And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. Hornets still driving upfield. This one, a play-action pass, and it's going to be caught along the far sideline by Owen Sheen. And a gain of 7 or 8 yards on the play. Good little pass through the air. And they're going to give him the first down. It looked like he might have been a little bit short on that.
I like that play. That was quick. One-step drop, boom, right there. Owen is able to get in open space and make a play downfield.
Back-to-back first downs for the Hornets. It's 1st and 10 from Tillamook territory on the 48-yard line. Stork got Tillamook to jump on the hard count. And the ball moving up 5 yards. Jumping on that one for Tillamook was Max Porter, the senior.
We haven't seen many mistakes thus far. I think that's the first penalty on the Cheesemakers.
There was one holding call on the offensive side of the first quarter.
Yes,
so
thank you, yes.
costing him 5 yards there. 1st and 5. As Colton Smith, Owen Sheen, the wide receiver, set up to the near side. The Hornets today in their white uniforms, the navy blue helmets with the navy blue stripe down the side and navy lettering. Tillamook today, black helmets, red tops, black pants. 1st and 5. It'll be a handoff to Northcutt up the middle. And he's going to be pushed back a little bit. They're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1, it looks like, based off forward momentum. That'll be 2nd and still about 4 yards to go.
Good hard running by the Henley running backs, but there just isn't a whole lot up the middle, I think.
And they continue to send Northcutt up the middle. They've got 2 backs there now with Higgins and Northcutt. Higgins has been able to bounce around the outside, and Northcutt has been trying to dive through the middle. So we'll see what they do here on a 2nd and 4 situation in Tillamook territory at the 42-yard line. This one is going to be a play action pass. Shaw Stork rolling out to his right side. He's trying to find Colton Smith to the near side and does. It is caught at the 26-yard line. A gain of 16 on the play and a Henley first down.
Colton Smith has become a master at working the sidelines. He's made some terrific sideline catches all year, and that was another one. Got the feet in, picked up the first down, and there was some of that one-on-one coverage we were seeing. Shaw may go to that more.
Had a tight place to fit that in there, too, did Stork. It was a good throw. 1st and
throw.
10 from the 27-yard line. This one going to be a handoff to Northcutt. Northcutt finds a little bit of room, gets inside the 20, bounces around out to the 15, and brought down, I think, just before reaching the 15 at the 16. Still a first down for the Hornets, a gain of about 13 on the play.
I like how the Hornets are mixing it up. Inside, outside, throw the football. Even when it's not successful maybe on the inside runs, that's when you're set up to throw. The throw sets up the run. This is a nice drive for Henley. Need to try to finish it off with a score.
1st and 10 from the 16. The Hornets driving. This is the 8th play of the drive coming up. Stork back there is going to roll to his left, has some leading blockers, tries to find some room around the outside. Stork cuts upfield, gets inside, and is brought down at the 5. So call it a gain of about 11 on the play. Should be good enough for a Hornets first down. It'll be 1st and goal, Henley.
That was a little different formation than we've seen. There were 2 backs, but they were kind of staggered in the backfield, and that enabled Shaw to have 2 blockers in front of him. Well done.
First and goal from the 5 for the Hornets with 9:23 remaining in the second quarter, a game in which they trail 6-0. This one is going to be a handoff to Northcutt. He's hit hard at the line of scrimmage. Might have fought forward for a gain of 1 on the play. Brings up 2nd and goal.
Northcutt tackled by several Cheesemakers.
Henley's going to have to earn this for sure. Tillamook defense, they've got a good group out there.
Shaw Stork going to the sideline to get the play. Want to make sure you get these ones right when you're this close. It's 2nd and goal. They're at the 5. Same formation, this time Higgins off to the right of Stork with Northcutt right behind him. Colton Smith in the slot with Owen Sheen to the left. This one, a keeper for Stork, trying to find his way into the end zone. Stork falling forward and just short. He's inside the 2, not quite to the 1. It'll bring up 3rd and goal.
That was a good run. There wasn't a whole lot of room in there, but he found his way down to just about the 1. They'll bring up 3rd down. Henley could really use a touchdown here. They trail 6-0 with 8:15 left to play here in the half.
3rd and goal from the 2. That's where they're marking it. Big play looming for the Hornets. Owen Sheen and Colton Smith to the near side and Austin Fitz to the far side. He's got Tolson Higgins to his left and Garrett Northcutt right behind him. Shaw Stork is waiting, and it looks like we've got a timeout on the field. The Hornets going to take this one, and they want to make sure they've got the right play called here.
Yeah, Henley lined up in that formation that we had mentioned just a minute ago, where there are two backs in the backfield, but they're kind of staggered, and I think the Tillamook coaching staff may have seen that. That play was very successful earlier in the drive, and they may want to try to address that here.
7:54 remaining in the second quarter, a game in which Tillamook leads 6-0. They are the 8th seed. Henley coming into this one, the 9 seed. As we come here, it's about 1:30 here in Tillamook, and at 2 o'clock today, it is the other game going on today between Baker and Marist. They're playing at Marist in Eugene. The 7th ranked taking on the 10th ranked Baker. We'll try to get you updated on that game as that one continues as well this afternoon. Other than that, though, all games are decided. Marshfield moving on. That's who the winner of this game faces after a 43-0 pounding of Madras. So that's what these teams are fighting for, a trip to Coos Bay next weekend. Right now, the Hornets trailing 6-0. They're facing 3rd and goal from the 2.
Big play here.
Shaw Stork in the gun. Is going to take it himself, has a couple blockers, has room on the far sideline. Shaw Stork jogs it in for a Henley touchdown.
Well executed play by the Hornets. I think everybody knew that's where it was going to go, that left side around the end. But Shaw is just quick enough to scoot over the end line and tie this game at 6.
Knotted at 6, and now the extra point coming up. And it looks like Owen Sheen attempting to do the honors. He had a big field goal last week to put Henley up 10-7. They never looked back against the Mustangs. We'll see what he can do here, trying for the extra point. The kick is up. It looks good, and it is good. Henley takes a 7-6 lead with 7:49 to go in the second quarter. You've got the OSA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Championships on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
On Top Tree Services have one of the highest buckets in town. No job too small, no tree too tall. Operating since 2017, this crew's ready for your land clearing, tree removal, tree trimming, stump grinding, and fire prevention. On Top Tree Services offers same-day estimates. I can't mention this enough. If a tree falls on your house or vehicle, they offer a 24/7 emergency tree or limb removal. Give them a call today at 541-882-8707. On Top Tree Services, fast, easy, and reliable. CCB 216014.
And we welcome you back to the OSA On Point Community Credit Union 4A State Playoffs on 104.3 and 960 Sports. 7-0. Henley punching in a touchdown. Took them 11 plays. They went 80 yards, and they lead by 1 with 7:49 to go in the second. The ensuing kickoff fielded at about the 5, brought up past the 20, out to the 25, the 30. Now gets the 35, the 40 before being brought down. That was Gunder on the return. He returned it from the goal line and brought it out to the 44.
Tillamook runs an old school wedge on their kickoff return, and that wedge worked to perfection. And if not for Connor Sieben, that would have been a long touchdown run. Good tackle by Connor.
It's 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. Tillamook taking over their last drive, ending in a punt. And we'll see what they decide to do here as Trent Bushler jogs himself back out onto the field. And we welcome you back listening on the radio, 104.3 960 Sports. After the touchdown, Tillamook brings it back out to the 42-yard line. And that is where they start their drive, 1st and 10, 7:41 to go in the second quarter. Bushler is going to hand it off to Warner on the misdirection, finds a little bit of room up the middle, and that's going to be good for a Tillamook first down, a gain of 11.
Luke Bennett on the stop for Henley. That was a nice little trap. Looked like it was going to go right, but the play ended up going left, and a good gainer for Tillamook.
1st and 10 for the Mook from the 47-yard line. 7:23 to go in the second quarter, a game in which the Hornets lead 7-6. Bushler going to hand this one off to Warner again. Now it's a keeper along the far side. Warner has a little bit of room, and the ball's knocked loose. The Henley Hornets recovering the fumble. They got the ball back. It'll be 1st and 10 Hornets, and we'll see where they mark it. And Coach Johnson out about halfway to midfield. Coach Kai Johnson, in his 7th season, is trying to argue his case for his team, and it looks like it is to no avail. The Hornets causing the turnover, and they get the ball back at the 41-yard line. It's 1st and 10.
Connor Siebens had a nice game for the Hornets here in this first half. He fell on the football.
Hornets get a chance to expand the lead. Shaw Stork. He's got 2 receivers to the near side. Shaw drops back to pass, rolling to his right, looks left, unleashes a deep pass that is caught by Owen Sheen at the 35. He's running down the sideline, brings it inside the 15, down at the 11. A big play for Shaw Stork and the Henley Hornets. Owen Sheen leaping for that pass and bringing it in.
Nice throw by Shaw Stork. Great catch by Owen. Shaw's really good at putting that ball up high enough for his receivers. And Owen got behind the defense and picked up a big chunk of yardage for the Hornets.
Call it a 47-yard gain on the play, and a timeout is going to be called for, the chains. The chains had not moved yet. All right, 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line, 6:55 to go in the second quarter. Stork drops back to pass, rolls to his right, looks in zone, and just misses Colton Smith. A late flag on the play after the fact, and we'll see what the call ends up being. This one might be against the Hornets, as it looked like on the floor was number 33, Parker McKibben, and it's going to be defensive pass interference.
Good break for the Hornets as they get a pass interference call in the end zone. In Henley's playbook here, I'm really impressed with Coach Pashy and the playbook here. It's kind of cliche, but you kind of have to get the cobwebs out. You're on the road, you're a long way from home.
Right.
And it took about 5-10 minutes of game time for Henley to get things figured out. But the offense is looking great right now. And if they can cash in here, that'd go a long way to winning this ballgame. Yes.
So after the defensive pass interference call, they're going to mark it 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. And I think the chain gang confused a little bit once again. Is it 1st and goal, or is it 1st and 5? And it is 1st and 5. I was confused as well when we got the ruling right down there, it looks like. 1st and 5, still at the 6-yard line. The yard to gain is the 1. See what the Hornets can do. They're close to punching in once more. Shaw Stork going to take it himself along the left side. Stork tries to fight his way forward and might have been just short. And that'll be 2nd down, and we'll see if they give him the 1st down or if he's just short of that as well. So second down and inches. The yard to gain is the 2, and they're snapping it from about the 2.5-yard line.
It's a good situation to be in for Henley. You've got a 2nd. And just a matter of inches. Just what you want to do here, just try to punch it through.
2nd and inches at the 2-yard line. Stork going to hand it off to Northcutt. Northcutt battles his way in there for a Henley touchdown. Hornets up 13-6 with 5:58 to go in the second quarter. And now a chance at an extra point for Owen Sheen.
Garrett Northcutt's had to run the ball very hard in this first half inside that tough Tillamook line, and he made a great play at the end of that play. He had not scored if he hadn't reached his arm out with that football, and he put the ball just over the line to get 6 points for the Hornets.
Owen Sheen to do the honors, trying to go for the extra point. The kick, the hold from Smith. It's up, and it is good. The Hornets lead 14-6 with 5:58 to go in the second quarter. That drive only taking 3 plays for the Henley Hornets, and it took 62 seconds, 1:02 seconds off the clock, and the Hornets now lead by 8.
That's just what you want if you're the Hornets. The coaches told me before the game that they wanted to get off to a good start. You want to score as much as you can before the weather turns, because you don't really know what will happen. And Josh, it's getting dark here. It's
getting a little dark. It's getting a little chilly.
Yes. So we may see some weather here in the second half.
Well, if it does start to get rainy, Kevin, Having the right set of tires and wheels on your vehicle is just part of an essential safety checklist. That's why Les Schwab does more than install just tires and wheels. You can come on in for a free pre-trip safety check. They're going to help make sure everything is in working order at Les Schwab Tires. Hornets going to kick off. Owen Sheen to do the honors. Back to receive for Tillamook, number 5, Garrison Gunder. The kick is up, and it's kicked along the far side, and will end up going out of bounds. Sheen did that, twice against Hidden Valley, where it bounces out at the 1, and then right now.
He's done that a number of times. It just sneaks up to the goal line and then dives out. So it'll be a penalty, as it were. The ball kicked out of bounds, and the ball will come to the 35.
So that's where Tillamook will take over. 5:58 to go in the first half. Stick with us during halftime. We're going to break up the bracket as we have it. Take a look around the state. Obviously, college football being played today. And we'll get you all that information as we move through the afternoon. 1st and 10 for Tillamook from their own 35. Bushler takes a snap. It's going to be an option for Bushler. He tries to come up the near side, and he is wrapped up and taken down by Owen Sheen. And no gain on the play. 2nd and 10.
That's a nice, sure tackle from Owen Sheen. That's what you want to see around the end. And Henley playing with only 3 linemen in the box per se, but they are bringing those players in the defensive backfield, bringing them up, and that's worked for the for the Hornets most of the year.
2nd and 10 for Tillamook. 3 wide receivers out to the right side of Bushler, and he's got his running back Warner to the left. This one, Bushler looked right like he was going to throw, decides to keep it himself, gets wrapped up by Austin Fitz. Still a decent gain on the play, call it 7, and that will bring up 3rd down for Tillamook.
Austin did a nice job keeping his eye on the quarterback there. It was kind of a deceptive play, but he was able to make the tackle and put Tillamook in a 3rd down situation.
3rd down for Tillamook today. They are 1 for 3. This is going to be 3rd down and 3. Bushler calls for the ball. This is a handoff to Warner. Warner has some room along the near sideline. He breaks up past the 50, inside the 40. Now the 35-30. He cuts back across midfield by Owen Sheen, and right there for the tackle is Connor Sieben. It seemed like a great run for Warner, but Connor Sieben came in with the big hit to knock him out of bounds. Regardless, a solid gain on the play and a 1st down and then some.
There's a big chunk of yardage for Tillamook right there, and I have the feeling that they're similar to Henley in that way. They can break a play for 20, 30, 40, 50 yards. And now they're knocking on the door as well.
1st and 10, they're calling it the 27-yard line. Another misdirection. This time is going to be handed off to Gunder, and Gunder is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, 2nd down.
Tulson Higgins able to get over there and make the stop. That's a good stop on 1st down. If you're a Hornets fan, that's what you want. Loss of maybe a yard almost.
Gunder out there again with Bushler. As we see Warner on the near sideline trying to catch a break after that big hit from Sieben. 2nd and 10 for Tillamook. This one, another handoff to Gunder. He gets wrapped up again, and this time though, a gain on the play of about 3 yards, maybe 4, brings up 3rd down.
Matthew McCoy right in the middle of all that, making a nice stop.
So far, Tillamook 2 for 4 on 3rd down conversions. They missed one, made one, missed one, made one. So we'll see if they continue that pattern here. 3rd down and 7.
This might be 2-down territory for them. We'll see how it turns out.
This one, a keeper for Bushler, tries to cut up the near sideline. He's got quite a bit of room. Now he's inside the 20, gets to the 10, 5, touchdown Tillamook.
These teams have shown us when they get around the corner, look out, because they have quick backs, and if they could just get that step around the edge, they're going to get a big gainer, and that was enough for a touchdown.
Bushler's 2nd TD of the afternoon and 18th on the season. That one from 23 yards out.
Special teams have played a pretty important role so far. Tillamook missed an extra point early, had a kick blocked as well.
And it looks like they're going to try to go for 2 here to try to tie up this game with 3:01 to go in the first half.
It's a big conversion.
Big conversion. Bushler back there and tries to go with the Statue of Liberty as Werner tries to get into the end zone and does, breaking out a little something from Boise State there. And they convert. That's an exciting play to bring us to a tie ball game.
Bushler faked a pass to the far side of the field, but held onto the ball, slipped it behind his back and just held it there. And then one of his running backs came behind him, picked up the ball kind of in a sneaky fashion.
Yes, sir.
And just had enough to score the ball over the line here on the near side.
Score 14-14. That drive for Tillamook, 6 plays. Took them 3 minutes to get downfield, capped it off with a 23-yard Bushler touchdown run, and then getting the 2-point conversion to tie up the game at 14. And Kevin, just like you said, before the rain starts to come down, which looks like it might be in a few minutes, both these teams, the offense is, it's been clean so far, and both teams explosive early.
Right, and there was that one turnover, the fumble from the Cheesemakers, and that's made a difference. The team that can limit the mistakes and keep these drives with points at the end of them, score something, get a field goal, get a touchdown, that'll be the team that wins here today for sure. We predicted an even game, and we've got one.
Knotted at 14, 3:01 to go in the first half. Tillamook going to be kicking off, back to receive Colton Smith and Luke Bennett. This one kind of a squib kick, going to bounce at the 30, bounce up. Henley's got a fall on it. There's a jumble of bodies, and I believe that Colton Smith was able to get there and fall on it. And this one going to be taken from the Henley 35 or thereabouts.
That was a heads-up play by Colton Smith. The ball kind of bounced in no man's land between the up backs and the deep backs. And, of course, that ball's live. Someone's got to get to it, and everybody was kind of waiting for someone else. And Colton fell on the football, so Henley maintains possession.
1st and 10, and they're actually saying this is closer to the 30-yard line, maybe the 31. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Hornets. Shaw Stork is going to fake the handoff. He's going to take it along the far side, gets tripped up, finds a little bit of room, still going, and brought down after a gain of 10 on the play. And he gets the first down. Shaw Stork staying on his feet, man. It is tough to bring him down.
Some more of that confident running we've been talking about all year. He's really good at dodging and weaving through traffic, and he got enough for a first down right there.
3 receivers to the near side. It's Fitz, Sheen, and Smith, and 1 receiver to the far side. As Stork takes the snap, looks to the near side. Smith for the screen. It's caught, brought up, and brought down at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10.
That was a nice open field tackle by Tyler Moncrief of the Cheesemakers.
2nd and 10. 2 minutes now remaining in the first half. Hornets looking to put a drive together, put some points up on the board. And they will get the ball back to start the second half. If you look that far ahead. 2nd and 10 from the 41-yard line. This one going to be a handoff to Tolson Higgins. Finds a little bit of room, gets hit, and brought down, a gain of 2 on the play. And that'll bring up 3rd down. Henley has not faced 3rd down since the first quarter, in which they are 0 for 2 on conversion attempts thus far in the game.
At times, that Tillamook line, they're stingy. And there have been periods where Henley's had trouble running the football. And this drive is one of those times. We'll see here on 3rd and long if Henley can get a first down.
Luke Bennett lined up to the near side with Austin Fitz and Colton Smith. Owen Sheen to the far side. Also Garrett Northcutt, the running back there with Shaw Stork. Northcutt's off to his right. 3rd and 8. Stork takes the snap, stutters a little bit back there, doesn't have a whole lot of room, trying to roll to his right, turns around to go to his left, unloads one downfield. The pass is caught by Austin Fitz on the far side. He gets up and a gain of 11 on the play. Austin Fitz comes back, makes the catch, and a first down for the Hornets. That's heck of a way to keep the play alive, and there's a flag way in the backfield.
Yeah, unfortunately, Shaw was able to get free because he got a little help from an illegal block back there. So they will have to try third down once again. Good effort by the Hornets, but the chop block will negate that play.
Regardless, the heads-up still, the heads-up play for Fitz still stands, able to come back. He put himself in position to make a catch that would have been there without the chop block.
Yeah, and a very good throw. Shaw's throwing the ball very well today. But that block, where it was and what the penalty is, it's going to be third and about 40.
Let's see the official measurement. I'm sure they'll put it up.
You know what?
Here.
It is about.
That is about 3rd and 40, and you're not lying.
Yes.
35 to be exact.
Okay.
3rd and 35, and a timeout is called by Tillamook. So they're going to take a timeout here. And they said it right here at the PA. 3rd down and forever. Kevin, what can you do 3rd and 35?
Well, I'm sure Coach Pesci has that 3rd and 40 play in his
not many coaches have that play in their playbook.
I think what you do here, you just try to get something, maybe try to throw the football somewhere mid-level and pick up a chunk and then get yourself some field position. There's only 44 seconds left in the half, so field position will play a big role here. If you can push them down the field and your defense comes in and does a nice job, you can go in tied. So we'll see exactly what they draw up.
For 40 years, Pacific Office Automation has remained locally owned and operated, supporting the community and people and places that matter. That's why Pacific Office Automation continues to sponsor the OSAA year after year. Pacific Office Automation, problem solved. 3rd and, well, the official measurement, Kevin, 3rd and 37 now. They added a couple more yards. So see what the Hornets can do here. 3rd and 37. The yard to gain is the 48 on the other side of midfield. They're taking it from the 16. Stork takes a snap. It's going to be a handoff to Northcutt, and he gets wrapped up, brought down. Maybe a small gain on the play. Still 4th and forever. Although it looks like they're going to try to stop the clock. I would imagine Tillamook tries to stop the clock here. And
that's a good play, too, because you forced Tillamook to burn a timeout.
And did they burn that timeout? I didn't see an official signal. I would imagine they did, and it is. Timeout Tillamook. I didn't see a signal, but
that's a good play by Henley there. You forced them to take their timeout. I'm not sure if they have any left. Do they have any left, Josh?
Each team has one.
They have one. So if they do get the ball, they'll just be able to stop at one time with 38 seconds. So if we can get a good kick here.
And Owen Sheen, if he can get one of those punts to roll a little bit.
Right. And he does have the wind with him at his back. So.
And it looks like back to receive is Bushler and Gunder. They've got a pair of guys back there. So maybe, you're going to have to watch. If one guy catches it, they walk toward each other. You're going to have to watch for some trickery coming out from Tillamook, too.
And they are deep. They're expecting a long kick.
And you can see the coaches on the Henley sideline making sure everyone sees there's 2 guys back there.
Right.
38 seconds to go in the half. We're tied at 14. The snap, Owen Sheen with the punt. It's a high one, and it's going to be fielded at the 45. Gunder's going to take it, and he is wrapped up before reaching the 50 by Luke Bennett. And Special Teams Player of the Year. There's some shoving at the end of the play. Multiple flags out, and Bushler's getting into it with Sieben. And Bushler has to be taken away by his team well after the play. And Sieben being walked off too. 28 seconds to go in the first half, and some of the coaches out there, the officials have to work out who did what first. And we've got both the players implicated off the field, and now just have to decide what happened. A personal foul against the Hornets, and that's the call here on the road.
You know what? I think that's against Tillamook. We'll double check.
I guess that might be against Tillamook.
Because he did point, yes.
Right, okay.
So that is against, we've seen some scuffles here today, and this would be the second personal foul that was actually called, but these.
The playoffs, the emotions right high. You're right. This is going against Tillamook and against their quarterback, Bushler, who is going to have to be back out onto the field now as he's the starting quarterback. Bushler's had a good game so far, a couple of touchdowns, rushed in by himself. It'll be 1st and 10 Tillamook from the 35 with 28 seconds to go.
Both teams have been guilty of this. You need to.
Right.
It's a big game and it's important and you're excited about it, but you've got to reel in your emotions. You just play to the whistle and you go from there. So 28 seconds here for Tillamook to try to move the ball down the field.
And we've got, I believe, timeout, an official timeout.
They had to spot the football correctly.
Gotcha.
We're back at it.
1st and 10 from the 35. Tillamook driving in their own territory with 30 seconds to go in the half. A man in motion. This is going to be a keeper for Bushler, trying to come up to the near side, and he is going to be taken out of bounds. And, Sieben in on that tackle with Bushler. Sieben has a couple words walking back the ball. It's a gain of about 3 on the play.
Sieben's been very aggressive in this first half. Owen Sheen also helped him out on that tackle.
Austin Fitz in on the group as well, and don't see him out on the field. It kind of got lost in the scuffle there at the end, but Luke Bennett made a great play on that punt. He did a great job there.
He did. That was a great kick by Owen and excellent coverage by Luke, definitely.
2nd and 6. Snap to Bushler. He's going to keep it himself. Try to find some room up the middle. Bounces around to the outside. He gets wrapped up and stalled out. Northcutt in on the tackle. Brings down Bushler. And it's starting to come down. Is this hail we're seeing, Kevin? What in the heck? We did not expect to see hail.
Yeah. we knew we'd see the skies open up at some point. And
all right.
It's happening right now.
It's coming down here in Tillamook, and that will bring us to the end of the first half. We're knotted at 14 in a game that now features a little bit of hail. We'll break down the first half coming back for you on the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Championships. We're in the first round, and we are tied.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quadtrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
On Top Tree Services have one of the highest buckets in town. No job too small, no tree too tall. Operating since 2017, this crew's ready for your land clearing, tree removal, tree trimming, stump grinding, and fire prevention. On Top Tree Services offers same-day estimates. I can't mention this enough. If a tree falls on your house or vehicle, they offer a 24/7 emergency tree or limb removal. Give them a call today at 541-882-8707. On Top Tree Services, fast, easy, and reliable. CCB 216014.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon, soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
And we welcome you back to the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union State Championships. We're in the first round, and the Henley Hornets, the Tillamook Cheesemakers, knotted up at 14 after 24 minutes. Kevin, It's been a great game so far. Both teams, a couple of rushing touchdowns. Bushler's got 2 for Tillamook. Shaw Stork has 1 for Henley, as does Garrett Northcutt. We've seen some fireworks early. We've seen some weather early. It hailed for all of about, 45 seconds, and it hailed hard. And now the winds died down. The hail's gone. The cheerleaders gave their halftime performance. It's been a heck of an afternoon.
It's been a great game, a lot of fun to watch. And, just as we had heard that we would get some wet weather here in the second half, Henley hasn't had to deal with that all year, despite all the weird adversity and
had
situations.
To deal with smoke.
Yeah, we've had all kinds of weird things going on, but they haven't played on a wet field yet, so we'll see how Henley adapts to that. I don't think the cold's going to affect Henley. We're used to that kind of in Klamath Falls, but yeah, we could be in for some interesting football. We'll see right off the bat. We'll see how the teams adjust coming out at halftime.
And take just a quick look at the weather real quick. 51 right now in Tillamook, although it feels a little bit colder than that. We should see some rain right now about 2 o'clock all the way up until 3. Might see some thunder later on. We'll see how it all ends up shaking out this afternoon. But weather definitely going to be a factor in this second half. Kevin, what did you see from these squads in this first half? Specifically that Henley offense. Took a minute to get going, but they got it rolling.
Yeah, I like how Henley persevered. They tried some things. You kind of find out what works, what doesn't. We're playing a team in a different league, all the way across the state. You're not sure what this league runs, what kind of offenses. And once we figured out exactly what we're up against, Henley got more comfortable, had more success, and they were able to score a couple of touchdowns. So I think these halftime adjustments are going to be really, really important. Both teams, you can tell, they've got quarterbacks that can run, they can get outside, and in that way they're similar. So they're going to have to figure out how to stop each other in that way.
Looking at just a couple of numbers, a pair of touchdowns for both teams, but for Henley, 9 first downs. Tillamook's had 7. Tillamook also 2 for 4 on third down conversions. They are now 3 for 5. Got to mark that one down there. Henley is 0 for 3 on third down conversions thus far. So something to look at there is third down conversions. Also the ability to move the football. We've had some fireworks so far and bound to have some more in the second half as the cheerleaders come back out onto the field. We're going to take a break, come back. When we do, going to take a look at the 4A football bracket as it was in the OSAA 4A state championships. Most of our games played yesterday. We've got one game that just started between Marist and Baker. Try to get your score updates as that game continues throughout the afternoon. Appreciate you being with us. It is halftime from Tillamook High School in the first round of the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Championships. The Hornets and the Cheesemakers are tied. Keep it right here.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quadtrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
On Top Tree Services have one of the highest buckets in town. No job too small, no tree too tall. Operating since 2017, this crew's ready for your land clearing, tree removal, tree trimming, stump grinding, and fire prevention. On Top Tree Services offers same-day estimates. I can't mention this enough. If a tree falls on your house or vehicle, they offer a 24/7 emergency tree or limb removal. Give them a call today at 541-882-8707. On Top Tree Services, fast, easy, and reliable. CCB 216014.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon, soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
And we welcome you back to the first round of the OSA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Championships in the 4A, the Henley Hornets and the Tillamook Cheesemakers. We are knotted up at 14. Quite a few other games going on in this bracket. However, most of them played yesterday. We got those numbers for you, too. As we just look at the bracket real quick, Kevin mentioned at the top of the broadcast, we had 4 shutouts yesterday as Marshfield took care of Madras 43-0. Mazama beat North Eugene 42-0. Banks handled Hidden Valley 29-0. Estacada over Staten 37-zip. And those are our 4 shutouts. LeGrand beat Gladstone 34-12. Cascade over Astoria 67-24. So even the games that weren't shutouts weren't necessarily close. We've got one game that just started, Mariston-Baker. That's the 7-10 matchup. Should be a close-ish game there, but this is the first time I think a team has been tied at halftime so far in these playoffs.
Yeah, we got the best draw as far as a competitive game, that's for sure. These two teams are even, seeded 8 and 9 in the bracket, and we're getting the show that we expect. It's been a fun game to watch so far.
Without a doubt, there's plenty of other playoffs happening as well at the same time. Of course, we've got the volleyball playoffs. Henley made the volleyball playoffs, ended up losing in the first round. But I will bring this up. You know, Henley boys soccer team ended up making the playoffs as well. In the first round, they drew Tillamook at home. They beat the Cheesemakers 4-0 in boys soccer. So maybe we can continue the trend against the Cheesemakers here in the second half, but a lot of playoffs going on. And it's just truly a fun time of year when all this is happening. You said that Lost River is up on Camas Valley. Was it 32-0?
Yeah, at halftime, yes.
Right. So that's, Basin teams looking all up. Mazama won, Lost River's winning, and hopefully Henley can come away here and continue that trend. It's just a fun time of year, Kev.
Absolutely. You know, of course, we're excited to be out here, but it's also fun to go on the road and see what the other schools have invested in their programs.
Right.
And Tillamook, it's been, I think, nearly 20 years since they've had a home playoff game here.
Right. Tillamook's, their last home playoff game was 2002. This is their 23rd playoff appearance overall, 15-23 in that time. They lost one state championship, the only state championship they ever went to in 1977. They did make the semifinals in 1955 and 1989. Ended up losing both of those games as well. You look at those numbers for Henley. This is their 27th playoff appearance in school history. They're 25-22 in that time. 2 state championships, one in 1946, one in 1982. They've also lost 2 championships in 1947 and 1948. Today making the 320-mile trip, dropping down to sea level, and so far, they look pretty good. They come into this game with Josh Stork throwing and completing about 50% of his passes. He's got 16 rushing touchdowns on the year. He's averaging 10 yards per carry, Kevin, this season, and I'm sure I don't have that exact stat for the quarterback, Trent Bushler, for Tillamook, but he's got to be pretty dang close as well. 1,700 offensive yards, 18 total touchdowns on the season. That's including today's efforts. So both of these teams very evenly matched. Both of them haven't had a ton of success in recent years in the playoffs, and here they are, 8 and 9, doing battle. We're tied at half.
Yeah, both these schools, they play in some difficult leagues, so it's not always easy to make it to the playoffs. And today we're seeing the rewards of a good season from both Tillamook and Henley.
So just want to remind those of you listening on 104.3 and 960 Sports, those of you who are looking for the Beavers broadcast, of course, they're playing Colorado today. If you're in Klamath Falls, you're trying to listen. As a matter of fact, today's broadcast has been moved to News Talk 1150 and 92.9 KAGO to make room for today's state championship broadcast today. So if you're looking for the Beavers game, I'd invite you to stay here and listen to the second half of this state championship event in this first round playoff game. I'd invite you to stay here, but if you are looking for the Beavers, tune on over to 1150 AM or 92.9 FM News Talk KAGO in Klamath Falls. Some other college football games going on today. As far as we know that just looking at this, Oregon, of course, playing Washington today. They are somehow 4th in the college football playoffs. Again, Oregon State playing Colorado today. On ESPN tonight, USC is going to be visiting Arizona State in the second quarter right now. Cal and Arizona, they are scoreless. Of course, last night, Kevin, I don't know if you saw the Utah game where they took care of Stanford 52-7. Looked like that score would have fit right in with the rest of our bracket.
Yeah, I watched that one for about 3 minutes. That was not exciting at all.
Going on in this part of the state, I mean, you look at some of the Eugene area schools. D3, number 6 Linfield taking on Willamette today. Linfield's 7-0. Willamette is 1-7. I expect Linfield probably take care of Willamette in that one. George Fox University playing Lewis and Clark, 4-3 for George Fox. Pacific University taking on Whitworth today. They are 7-1. And finally, our friends over the hill in Southern Oregon, they are 3-6. They are visiting Carroll College in Montana, and that is in the third quarter. They are scoreless as well, SOU and Carroll College. So a lot of football being played today, Kevin. It's a Saturday in Oregon, so of course that's what's going on. We've got a second half of football ahead of us here. The Henley Hornets and the Tillamook Cheesemakers tied at 14 in the first round of the OSA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Football State Championships. Second half action is next on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
All I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
John Bowers Construction and Landscape Maintenance is in urgent need of landscape team members now. Call them at 541-205-1464 to apply. They're also looking for a construction team lead and a landscape maintenance team lead. They offer extremely competitive wages, paid vacation, and so much more. Call John Bowers Construction at 541-205-1464 to apply today. Email johnbowerslandscape@hotmail.com. TCB number 188923. Equal opportunity employer.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Welcome back to the first round of the OSA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Football State Championships. We're in the first round, and the Henley Hornets and the Tillamook Cheesemakers tied up at 14, getting ready for the third quarter. I'm Josh Eldridge, joined by Kevin Petrick, Nick Bradford running the live stream this afternoon. If you're not watching this game on the live stream right now, find it. Go to mybasin.com. It's bound to be a great second half. Kevin, what do you expect to see?
Yeah, well, the hail that we saw just before halftime, it's given way to just rain now. It is raining pretty steadily, and the wind is still about where it was. So neither team, oddly enough, has played in a wet game this year. So we're going to see how things change. You know, having the wet football affects your passing game. It could cause you to fumble. You can lose traction. Sometimes the offense has little advantage running the ball because you can make a defender slip. So we'll see right away the difference of having a wet field.
Right, Henley is set to receive as we start the second half, and the wind blowing out to the east. More of a ground ball kick. It's going to be fielded at the 25 and bringing it backwards, trying to cut up field, getting to the 30. Fielding that one was Aiden Heslin. Doesn't grab the football too much, says Aiden, but fielding that one there, bringing it forward about 5 yards. Henley's going to start things off at the 31, it looks like. And with 12 minutes on the clock of the third quarter, excited for this one. The Hornets in their road white uniforms with the navy blue helmets and the navy blue sleeves, navy blue numbering and lettering, and navy blue stripe down the side. Tillamook today, black helmets, red shirts, black pants. Shaw Stork out there with Tolson Higgins, Owen Sheen, Colton Smith, Austin Fitz, and the first snap of the second quarter, or the second half rather, is to Tolson Higgins. Tolson goes forward a gain of about 4.5, maybe 5 on the play. Good job by Tolson. Gained some yards on that play. On the offensive line for the Henley Hornets at center, Braden Roach. On the guards, either side of him to the left, Juan Manzo, Elijah Roloffs to the right tackle, Emiliano Ortiz, the left tackle, Owen Northcutt. And an official timeout. Ball's going to be spotted at the 35, so official will go down as a gain of 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 6 with Colby Scholes lined up to the far side with Colton Smith, Owen Sheen to the near side, Tolson Higgins. Off to the right of Shaw Stork as the Hornets drive westward from right to left. This one another handoff to Tolson Higgins. Finds his way up through the middle, battling for every yard he got. He ends up going backwards after being hit. Still forward momentum gives him a gain of 3. Maybe 4 on the play, brings up 3rd down and 2. Henley this afternoon is 0 for 3 on 3rd downs.
Good extra effort by Higgins, giving the Hornets a manageable 3rd down on their first drive here in the second half.
3rd down and 3, the measurement. The yard to gain is the 41, taking it from the 38. The snap to Stork. He gets it. A play action pass. Stork rolling out to his right. He's going to decide to tuck it and run. He gets there, and a flag in the backfield. Stork is taken down at the 49-yard line, and there is a flag well behind the line of scrimmage, and frankly, well after the ball had moved out of there, so likely going to end up coming back.
That's unfortunate because that was a good play, and it was executed just right. Shaw had the option of throwing the ball downfield or keeping it to pick up the first, but they will have to do 3rd down over.
Moving it backwards, 3rd down and about 13. The holding call brings it back. So Sheen, and I believe that's Bennett and Smith to the near side. Fitz to his lonesome, out to the right. Stork drops back to pass, looks left, throws it over the middle. Colton Smith couldn't quite rein that one in, hit his hands and just dropped it, brings up 4th down.
That was a nice play. Colton had some space in the middle of the field, the ball thrown just slightly behind him, and that'll bring up our first punt here in the second half. This could be a game of field position more than we saw in the first half.
Sheen back to punt, and Gunder back to receive for the Mook. Gunder stationed at about the 35 on the other side of midfield, and Sheen going to take this one and punt it at the 20. Almost got that one blocked. It'll bounce around the 50, up to the 40, and will come to a halt at the 41. So bouncing back a little bit in favor of Tillamook. They'll take it at the 41 on their side of midfield. And now the Cheesemakers, led by Trent Bushler and Judah Warner, will come back out onto the field as a wide receiver. Zayon Hurleman and Marshall Allen will be out there along with Peyton Rieger and Parker McKibben. Again, Judah Warner, the running back. Their offensive line at center, it's Jared Landlott. At either guard position, it's Dylan Steen and Sam Diaz. At the tackles, Aiden Johnson and Austin Barry Killian. 1st and 10 for the Cheesemakers from the 41. It's going to be a handoff to Warner. He gets forward a gain of, and it looks to be about 3-4 yards on the play. 2nd down.
Colby Scholes making the stop for the Hornets. And Tillamook on the ball quickly once again. They'll show pace every once in a while. They'll hurry up.
2nd and 6 for Tillamook. Bushler in the gun, takes it, is going to roll to his right, has a little bit of room along the right side, has to cut upfield. He sheds off Tyler Harper, runs out of bounds at the 50. That'll be good enough for a 1st down for Tillamook, their first of this second half. 8th of the game.
Henley defense able to string that play out. They were just too far down the field, and that will move the chains. for the Cheesemakers.
1st and 10 from right at midfield for the Cheesemakers as they drive from left to right toward the east. This one going to be a handoff to Warner. Warner coming up the near side. He gets hit at about the 48. Colby Scholes wrestles him down. The ball gets loose, and it looks like the Hornets came away with it, and they did. The ball slips loose, and the Hornets get the football. Colton Smith taking that one away.
Colby Scholes with a nice play. That was that little misdirection trap that worked so well for Tillamook in the first half. Colby was not fooled, was able to strip the ball. Colton Smith fell on it, and a big break for the Hornets.
They take over, 9:12 remaining in the third. They take over at the 50-yard line. And that is a big takeaway. Second turnover of the game for Tillamook was also a fumble back in the second quarter. Henley wasn't able to convert on points then. We'll see if they can now. Receivers to the near side, 2 of them, and Austin Fitz to the far side. 2 backs in the backfield. It's going to be a handoff to Northcutt. Northcutt pushed forward a little bit, a gain of 1 on the play, brings up second.
Not much luck in the middle there again for Henley. Henley really had a pretty good drive last time. It was that penalty that stopped the drive. So I think Henley feels like they can move the football.
So 2nd and 9 from the Tillamook 49. Hornets now driving downfield from right to left. This is going to be a keeper for Stork. He's got blockers along the far side, cuts upfield, has a little bit of room, gets turned upside down, the ball goes loose. Rolls out of bounds, so Hornets safe for now. Brings up 3rd down and about 5.
That was a nice tackle by Junior Gonzalez for Tillamook. And he upended Shaw, but not before he picked up about 5 yards.
3rd and 5 coming up so far for the Hornets today. A tough go at things on 3rd down. They are 0 for 4. Looking for a change of fortunes. Stork with a couple of backs there with him. It's Higgins and Northcutt. This one, Stork drops back to pass. Finds Higgins on the near side. Higgins cuts upfield. He gets to the 40. Brought down, and he's going to get the 1st down, I believe, and a moving the chains for the Henley Hornets. First down of this second half, 10th of the game. And a nice little dump-off pass to Higgins there. Got into open space and got the yards he needed.
What a nice play call. Higgins had a lot of room all by himself on the near side of the field. And I like how Tolson didn't waste any time. He went north-south and got that 1st down just by a little bit. A nice play.
1st and 10 now from the Tillamook 41. The 39-yard line. Higgins off to the left of Stork and Northcutt behind him. This is going to be a handoff to Northcutt. Gets wrapped up a little bit, fights forward, gets back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play, regardless, 2nd down.
Henley showing that variety in the playbook we've seen all year. They're really using Garrett to run the middle today, which is something a little different that we've seen also. And he's doing a nice job. He's picking up tough yards.
2nd and 9. A ball on the 38, 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. We are tied at 14. Number 9, Henley, visiting number 8, Tillamook, on this gray afternoon from Tillamook, Oregon. 2nd and 9. This is going to be a handoff to Northcutt. Northcutt has a little bit of room, bouncing around to the outside of the pocket. Gets a good gain on the play. Call it a gain of 12. Good enough for a Hornets 1st down.
Garrett really negotiating the middle of that field. There was a lot of traffic in there. He made some moves to his left, to his right. Good carry, enough for a 1st.
1st and 10.
The rain has stopped momentarily, so the field's still a bit wet, but if you look at the track, you can kind of see that there's no raindrops.
1st and 10 from about the 25-yard line. 27. This is going to be another handoff to Northcutt. Northcutt tries to bounce around the outside, gets dragged down from behind, and gain of 1 on the play. 2nd and 9. I feel like this is the 3rd time in a row, where Henley's 1st down play goes for about a yard.
Right.
They've functioned pretty well in this 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9 territory so far. This is the 7th play of the drive coming up.
You definitely want to try to improve on that 1st down. You want to get 2nd and 5 or less. You can do a lot more with your offense. Keep yourself out of tough situations for sure.
Owen Sheen to the near side. Scholes and Smith lined up in the bunch set towards the line of scrimmage on the far side of the field. 2nd and 9. Stork drops back to pass. Looks to his right, has to roll to his left. He's being chased. Looks towards the middle of the field. Austin Fitz catches that at the 15, brought down at about the, we'll see where they end up marking it, at the 10. So I don't think this is going to quite be 1st and goal, but it will be 1st and 10 from the 11.
Another nice throw. Shaw Stork having a good day throwing the football. He put just the right touch on that. He had some pressure on the far side of the field, able to use his speed, buy some time, and Fitz was wide open in the middle with a good grab.
1st and 10 from the 11. Henley putting a drive together now. The 8th play of the drive coming up. Fitz, Scholes, Smith on the far side, Sheen to the left. Shaw Stork awaiting the snap, takes it, is going to roll out to his right, tries to find his man, looks towards the end zone, and the pass intercepted. Or did it fall incomplete? And it did, incomplete pass. It looked like it brought down by, I believe that was Parker McKibben.
He was trying to find Austin Fitz in the back of the end zone. There were a lot of people bunched up. Fortunately, Austin's big enough and tall enough that he kind of had the ball and was able to knock it to the ground and keep possession for the Hornets.
5 minutes even to go in the third quarter, tied at 14. 2nd and 10 from the 11 for the Hornets. Similar formation with Fitz, Scholes, and Smith to the far side, Sheen to the near side. This one, another snap for Stork. Stork's going to take it himself, running up the right side, has a little bit of room, finds himself a hole, and just short of the end zone, I believe. Brought down at inside the 5. We'll see if they mark it at the 3 or 4 yard line. Regardless, 3rd down and short coming up for the Hornets. So far on 3rd down, they are 1 for 5.
That was a quarterback run designed. He was not going anywhere but to the end zone as soon as he received it. And, man, that is really close. That is 3rd down and just inches. So you know Henley has a couple of downs here to pick up the first and maybe even punch it in.
Hornets 1 for 5 in the game on 3rd down. They're 1 for 2 this half. 3rd and an inch at the 2 yard line. Stork directing traffic. Takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Tolson Higgins. Higgins battles his way forward and just short of the end zone, although good enough for the 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal from the 1.
That's what you want. You ask your line to make a hole just big enough for Tolson to pick up at least the 1st down, and they did just that.
Timeout called by the officials. They're looking to spot the ball, and I think they're going to bring the chains out there to see where exactly Tolson let it go. And see if, he got the 1st down or not, although it was quite literally inches away. Tolson looked to have dived forward, so we'll see what the call ends up being.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I thought he had that 1st down pretty easily.
And take a look at that. Try to zoom in for you on the camera on the video stream. And even on the video stream, let's see. It looks to me like he got it, and he did, by about half the length of the football.
I got one right.
You feel good about that?
I was due. I missed about 3 or 4 of those in a row.
Well, he got the 1st down, so it'll be 1st and goal Hornets.
That puts Henley in a nice spot. 1st down inside the 5. And this clock has been running for the most part of this quarter. Not a lot of incomplete passes, not a lot of stoppage. And so this game is starting to pick up here. Time will become a factor if Henley can push it over into the end zone.
So the Hornets offense ready to go back out there. It'll be 1st and goal from the 2. That's where they're marking it. Hornets have converted from this distance basically twice already today. Both of their touchdowns, one from 3 yards out with a Stork keeper, one from 2 yards out was a Garrett Northcutt run. Northcutt not out on the field right now. It's Stork, Higgins, Smith, Scholes, and Fitz. And it looks like this one's going to be a design keeper for Shaw. Stork gets into the end zone untouched. A Henley touchdown.
That's the play you want. You get Stork around the end, and he can find that end zone. He's been doing it all year. And Henley takes the lead again.
They lead 20-14, pending the extra point, trying to put them up by a complete 7. That is the 5th touchdown we've seen today. 3rd for the Hornets. That one 2 yards out from Shaw Stork. His 2nd touchdown of the day, and make that his 17th rushing touchdown of the season. The point after is up, and it is good. The Henley Hornets up 21-14 with 3:35 to go in the 3rd quarter. You're watching the first round of the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Championships on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
And we welcome you back to the OSA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Playoffs, and the ensuing kickoff is going to be fallen on in front of the 30. You'll see if they mark it at the 35. Tillamook taking over after Henley scored a touchdown. Kevin, that drive for the Hornets started at the 50-yard line. Took them 10 plays and, 5.5 minutes? Capped it off with a Shaw Stork 2-yard touchdown run. That's a good drive they put together.
Yeah, and you know, it came off the turnover. And Henley's been very opportunistic today. They've had 2 fumble recoveries, and they turned both of those into touchdowns.
Tillamook back out there. They turn the ball over on their last possession on a fumble from Werner. As the Cheesemakers now down by 7. Bushler takes the snap, rolling out to his left, tries to find a man downfield, and he does. That'll be a gain of 11 on the play. And Zayon Hurleman, the junior, making the catch. First down, Cheesemakers.
We haven't seen that much today where the quarterback had a lot of time to throw, and he had enough time to get somebody open and pick up the first down.
1st and 10 from the 50 for Tillamook. Bushler takes the snap, looking to his right. This pass complete to Allen, and Allen wrapped up, brought down by Tulson Higgins, Garrett Northcutt, and the bunch. Tyler Harper, Colton Smith also in on the tackle.
A nice job of covering that little swing pass. Only a gain of about 4.
2nd and 6 coming up. The yard to gain the 40 as Tillamook drives toward the east as the wind now kind of blowing north. The weather's kind of cooled down. As Bushler takes the snap, looks quickly to his left. This pass going to be completed on the far side by Hurleman again. This time maybe a gain of 1 on the play. Brings up 3rd and 5. So far today for Tillamook on 3rd down, they are 3 for 5.
Cheesemakers coach Kai Johnson saw something out there that he liked, and they've thrown every down on this drive.
3rd down and 5. Bushler takes the snap. This is going to be a keeper for Bushler. Finds a little bit of room. Gets brought down after a gain of 7. Past the 40, down at the 39. Good for a Tillamook first down.
Good tackle by Garrett Northcutt. But he did pick up the first down. And the drive continues into Henley territory.
First down and 10 from the 39, and the 5th play of the drive coming up for Tillamook. A low snap for Bushler. He looks near side to Zerleman, finds the pass, but brought down quickly. A gain of roughly 3 or 4 on the play. 2nd down for the Mook.
Good coverage out there by Colton Smith, and you can live with those 3 or 4 yard completions. And Tillamook back on the ball quickly.
2nd and 7. Same formation for Tillamook. This one is going to be a handoff to Werner. And he plunges forward. A gain of 3 on the play. Brings up 3rd down and 3. And apologies there on the carry was Gunder, junior.
Colby Scholes with the stop. Here we have a third down situation. Tillamook now picking up the pace.
Tillamook already converted on third down once this drive as Bushler takes the snap, looks to keep it himself, gets up to the 30, now to the 25 before being brought down out of bounds. And he gets up to the 24-yard line. Good gain on the play of about 15 and a Tillamook first down.
I like what Tillamook's doing on this drive. They're showing us all kinds of new things. Throw before pass on this drive. And they're extending the drive with another first down.
3 receivers to the far side for Bushler, under a minute now in the third quarter. This one's going to be a handoff to Gunder once again. Ends up tripping on a lineman. Still a good gain. About 3 on the play, just short of the 20, down at the 21. And second down for the Cheesemakers.
Owen Northcutt with the initial contact on that play. Third quarter winding down, 30 seconds left.
And a fumbled snap. Bushler couldn't handle it. This one coming backwards, third down and long. And not something you want to see for Tillamook. Loss of about 5 on the play makes it third and what looks to be about 13.
We talked about playing in the rainy weather, and those are the types of things that come up. Third and long.
3rd and 13. One final play in the third quarter. Bushler drops back to pass. Finds Zerleman on the near side. Zerleman finds a little bit of a hole. Spins around one defender. Finally brought down by Colton Smith. And just a gain of 4 on the play will bring up fourth down. And we'll see that fourth down when we come back. Going to take a break as we start the fourth quarter. The Henley Hornets lead 21-14 over the Tillamook Cheesemakers in the first round of the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Football State Championships on 104.3 and 960 Sport.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
And we're back on 104.3 960 Sports. Tillamook going for it on fourth down. The pass to the end zone is intercepted by the Henley Hornets inside the end zone and making the catch. Kevin, did you see who that was?
I think it was Owen Sheen out there.
Third turnover of the game for Tillamook to start the first play of the fourth quarter. And Henley will come out and take over 1st and 10 from the 20. And what a way to come back from break. They cut us a little bit short, get right back into the action, and it's a Henley interception. They bring it out 1st and 10 from the 20. And
that was a big fourth down stop by the Hornets.
Yes, it was. So the Hornets take over 1st and 10 from the 20. Shaw Stork takes a snap. It's going to be a handoff to Higgins. Higgins bounces around to the outside, finds himself a little bit of room, gets up to the 40, gets past 2 defenders, finally brought down after a gain of about 20. Peyton Rieger in on the tackle, and a first down for the Hornets. 13th of the game.
Higgins looking strong on that run. He seems to get stronger as the game goes on, but he had to come off the field. He's limping a little bit. We'll see how he's doing over there.
So Garrett Northcutt going to come in and replace the senior Higgins. Northcutt, also a senior, 5'9", 170 pounds. Owen Sheen to the near side. Scholes and Smith out to the far side. And Northcutt in the backfield with Stork. 1st and 10. Stork's going to hand this one off to Northcutt. Finds himself a yard up the middle, 2nd down.
Higgins looks to be fine on the sidelines over there, and he'll probably take a couple plays off and be back in there. So that's good news.
Second and 9 coming up for the Hornets. 11 minutes remaining in the ball game. Henley up 21-14 in the first round of the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Championships. Second and 9. Back in the line of scrimmage are the Hornets. This one, a keeper for Stork, trying to come to the near side, finds himself a little bit of a hole, gets to the 50, he's now up to the 45, he's got room, up to the 40, 35, 30. He tries to cut to the outside, gets there, he's now to the 25, 20, and he runs out of bounds before getting to the 15 on the other side of the field. Shaw Stork, about 45 yards on the carry, puts Henley in great position to try to sock away some points.
There's an example of that downfield blocking that we've been talking about all year. The Hornets running backs and receivers really doing a nice job. Shaw made his way down the field.
So they're marking him down at the 18. First and 10. Henley now deep into Tillamook territory as they drive east. Hand off to Northcutt. Northcutt gets wrapped up. Tillamook attacking the football, but Northcutt able to hold on. Brings up second and 10.
Those first downs, they're just giving Henley fits on that first down. They just can't get a good gainer, it seems like, this whole half, and it puts them in second and third and long. But they've managed to get through it. It'll be second and 10.
Second and 10. Higgins back out there. You've got that formation where Higgins is off to the left and Northcutt behind him. Two wide receivers to the right, and it's second and 10. Stork going to keep it himself. Tries to cut up. Gets a little bit of room. There is a flag down, and the Cheesemakers trying to claw at the football. There's a flag down, and we'll see what the call ends up being.
They never did bring down Shaw. It was just a forward progress was stopped, and then the flag was thrown. So we'll see what we have here.
Holding on the Hornets. This one coming back. Replay second down and move the ball back 10 yards.
They'll get another chance at second down, and that's not the worst thing.
Checking into the game for Tillamook, Austin Barry Killian, a sophomore, and coming out is Dylan Steen. Second and 20. Yard to gain is the 8. Stork drops back to pass, finds Higgins near side, tries to cut upfield, gets inside the 30, now at the 25. Tolson Higgins brought down harshly, looked maybe be by his helmet. Either way, brought down. Good gain on the play, gets him back to just about the original line of scrimmage. Third down and 13.
We've seen that play a couple times today. Just a nice little easy pass to Tolson as he swings out to the near side of the field. And that was a good gainer. It'll be third and 14.
Hornets 2 for 6 this afternoon on third down conversions, 2 for 3 in this half. They made it work here in the second half. Third and 13, Tolson Higgins off to the right, and people stomping their feet here in the grandstands at Don Adams Field. Third and 13, play action pass. Shaw Stork looks over the middle, complete to Austin Fitz into the end zone, a Henley touchdown.
What a play at the right time. What a nice throw, just lofted it right over the defense, and Austin sure-handed Austin Fitz into the end zone for the touchdown.
Call it 22 yards on the completion for Fitz. And now Owen Sheen trying to put him up 14. The hold from Smith. The kick from Sheen. It is good. The Henley Hornets up 28-14 on the road over the Tillamook Cheesemakers. They lead by 14. You're watching the first round of the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Championships on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
John Bowers Construction and Landscape Maintenance is in urgent need of landscape team members now. Call them at 541-205-1464 to apply. They're also looking for a construction team lead and a landscape maintenance team lead. They offer extremely competitive wages, paid vacation, and so much more. Call John Bowers Construction at 541-205-1464 to apply today. Email johnbowerslandscape@hotmail.com. CCB number 188923. Equal Opportunity Employer.
And we welcome you back to the OSA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Championships. We're in the first round. The Hornets lead 28-14. Owen Sheen to kick things off. It's fielded by Gunder on the near side. He gets up past the 20, brought down at the 33. And there looks to be a fumble. Did Henley come away with it? The Hornets trying to say there's a fumble. Tillamook going to stay with the football. I think Tyler Harper thought he came away with one there. But the Cheesemakers are going to take over from about the 33-yard line.
Colby Brennan making a nice special teams play right there, in on the tackle. And going back to that touchdown, I really like Shaw Stork's having a nice day throwing the football. Maybe his best game passing we've seen this year.
One heck of a time to have it. The Henley Hornets going 6 plays, took them 3.5 minutes, converting on a 22-yard touchdown connection between Austin Fitz and Shaw Stork. As this will be 1st and 10, a misdirection. Werner going to carry it. He's hit hard and brought down after a gain of about 2. For Austin Fitz, that is his 3rd receiving touchdown on the season. Just going back to that touchdown drive for Henley, 6th score of the game combined for either team, and the Hornets lead 28-14 with 8:15 to go in the ball game. Although Tillamook still does have time to answer back, they got to do it quick.
And they are on the football. They will pick up the pace for sure now here in this 4th quarter.
2nd and 7. Bushler drops back to pass, looks off to the left, and wrapped up and brought down. Henley smelled that one coming from a mile, and it doesn't go anywhere. 3rd down and long.
Garrett Northcutt is a good fundamental tackler. He does not miss many tackles, and he really knows how to square his shoulders, and he made another nice play. That's a big loss on that play, probably around 5-6 yards.
3rd down and 14. Big 3rd down coming up for Tillamook so far this afternoon. They are 4 of 7. Had great success on 3rd down today. See if they could do it again. Bushler drops back to pass, moves up into the pocket, decides to keep it himself. Has a little bit of room, is tripped up by Colby Scholes, and a gain of about 7 on the play, still well short of the 1st down, brings up 4th and about 6.
That was a good play by Colby. He kept his head up and was able to get just enough of that leg to make the tackle. And we've got a little decision making for Tillamook here on 4th down. We're just under 7 minutes left.
Coach Kai Johnson electing to keep his offense out onto the field. 4th down and 7. So far, Tillamook 0 for 1 on 4th down conversions. Bushler threw an interception last time. This time drops back to pass. It's incomplete on the far sideline, and the Hornets will take over, leading by 14 with 6:39 to go in the final quarter.
Nice stop by the Hornets. That was a good play call. It was drawn up just right. The receiver was open just past the 1st down. Just couldn't make the grab. And now Henley can really put this game away with a touchdown here. Control this drive. They've been great in the last 4 or 5 minutes of ball games. We'll see if they can do the same here.
Both teams still have all their timeouts. 1st and 10 at the 39 in Tillamook territory. The Hornets looking to seal this game away and head to Coos Bay. We'll see what they can do. This one going to be a keeper for Stork. Tries to find his way up the far sideline. Gets there, and a gain of 3 on the play brings up 2nd down.
Good run by Stork, and you could tell he was thinking about going around the end, but he wanted to stay in bounds. So you know now that the players and coaches are thinking clock management right now.
So you've got Stork out there, Owen Sheen and Colton Smith, the linemen for the Hornets. At center, Braden Roach. At the guard position, Swan Manzo and Elijah Roloffs. Right tackle, Emiliano Ortiz. Left tackle, Owen Northcutt. The boys on the field right now for the Hornets as they try to get away with the win in the final 6 minutes of a ball game, which they lead 28-14 over Tillamook. Stork awaiting the snap, taking it from the 35. It's going to be a handoff to Northcutt. Northcutt finds a little bit of room, brought down at the 28-yard line. look to be just at the first down marker, and there's a Cheesemaker down. And we're going to take a timeout and hope that everyone's okay down on the field. Going to stick with you just for a second here, as Kevin, the winner of this game looks like the Hornets trying to hold on. They will be booking a trip to Marshfield next week, the number 1 team in the state, who beat Madras 43-0. Marshfield, you might remember, in week 1 beat beat Mazama 35-20. They're led by a quarterback, Dom Montiel. He's a 3-star athlete. He's very good. Has thrown 37 touchdowns on the year. And that was before I checked what he did last night.
Right. Yeah.
So very good team over there in Marshfield that's waiting for the winner of this one.
Definitely. Henley here. I can't say enough of how mature this offense is. They're taking their time. They know how to manage the clock. And they're very confident running the football when they do snap the football.
1st and 10 from the Tillamook 27. Stork sets his offense. This one going to be a handoff to Northcutt. Northcutt gets wrapped up, but falls forward. A gain of 3 on the play. Solid gain for the Hornets. 2nd down.
This strategy has worked for Henley at 2 different occasions this year. They wrapped up the Lapine game with a drive similar to this.
Right.
And then last week, they played well late and managed the clock very well to win that one as well. So we're about 4.5 minutes left in the ball game. Henley with a 2nd down and 9, and I'm sure they'll take their time again here.
2nd down and 9. It's just Tolson Higgins in the backfield with Stork. 2 receivers to the near side. It's Fitz and Smith. Owen Sheen to the far side all by himself. Colby Scholl's also out there. Going to be a keeper for Stork. Stork finds his way forward. Keeps on going to the 15. It's so difficult to bring that man down, and that's why he goes for 13 and a 1st down.
What a great effort. And your clock strategy only works if you can pick up 1st downs. And that was a huge gainer, bringing up a 1st and 10, and now we're down to 4 minutes.
4 minutes, and the Hornets lead 28-14. The number 9 team close to sealing the deal on this one on the road over the number 8th ranked Tillamook Cheesemakers. 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line, deep into Tillamook territory. And the Hornets able to take their time at the line of scrimmage. This is going to be a handoff to Tolson Higgins. Tries to bounce around to the outside. Finds himself a hole inside the 10, inside the 5, and he takes it in for a Hornets touchdown.
Nice run. Nice blocking. And Henley again shows how to finish a game. What a good drive.
16 yards out, Tolson Higgins punching that one in, and now Owen Sheen to attempt the extra point.
Henley's offense just looked stronger and stronger as this game progressed. That first quarter, weren't so sure about things, but by the 4th, they're looking good.
Owen Sheen, the kick is up. It is good. 35-14, and party back in Klamath Falls. 3.5 to go in the final quarter of the game. The number 9 Henley Hornets looking like they're going to try to book a trip to Marshfield into Coos Bay to play the Marshfield Pirates, the number 1 ranked team in the state. That's what's waiting for them. Of course, the ultimate goal is Hillsborough Stadium the week of Thanksgiving. Trying to get all the way there to the state championship game. November 27th is the date of the 4A championship.
That is right around Thanksgiving. Take a little vacation up to Portland area.
All right, Thanksgiving the 25th. Play football on, the 27th? There you go. What a weekend. Still got quite a ways to go in this ball game, and of course the bracket ahead. We'll break down the bracket for you as we continue towards the rest of this afternoon and into the post-game show on 104.3 and 960 Sports. The team's back out onto the field, and the Hornets kick things off. The kick from Sheen is up, kind of a squib kick out to the 25. That's where it's fielded, brought out to the 30, now to the 35, gets to the 40 before being brought down. Receiving that one was Hurleman. He brings it out past the 40 to about the 42, and that's where Tillamook will start their drive with 3:30 to go in a ball game in which they trail the Hornets 35-14.
I think I saw Kyle Nichols with that tackle. We've called some different names on special teams, making some important tackles tonight, and that was another one.
So Tillamook out there on the field waiting for their offense to get to the ball. The Hornets defense looking for one more stop. 3.5 to go in the fourth and final quarter. First and 10 from the 42. Ball to 41. It's going to be a throw. Bushler trying to look over the middle, intended target being Parker McKibben. Tried to fire that one in there quick. Falls incomplete. Second down.
He was open in the seam on the near side of the field. Just threw the ball a little bit ahead of him there. It'll fall incomplete and bring up second down. You know, the weather for the most part has held out.
Hasn't been too rainy, except for halftime, which is a good time for it to rain, I guess.
Sure.
Second and 10 for Tillamook. Bushler drops back to pass, looking for the same route, and it's picked off by Tolson Higgins. Higgins bringing it back to the 30, brought down at the 32-yard line, and Tolson Higgins taking that one away. The second interception thrown by Bushler today, and the Hornets offense back out onto the field.
That was a good catch.
You run the same play twice. Tolson Higgins going to sniff that one out.
How many times do you see that from a defensive player where just a laser ball like that's thrown and it's knocked to the turf or tipped? Tolson made a nice catch on that football for the interception.
Henley takes over at the Tillamook 33-yard line with 3:16 to go in the ball game. They lead 35-14.
You can expect more patience from the Henley offense.
First and 10. Stork handing this one off to Northcutt. Northcutt wrapped up, trying to battle his way back to the line of scrimmage. Ended up losing about 2 on the play. Brings up second down.
We're seeing Colby Brennan in the ball game. Just under 3 minutes to play now.
Hornets lead 35-14. They're taking their time on offense. And again, in the post-game show, we'll take a look ahead at the bracket. And we'll try to find a score for Mariston Baker as well, who just started about an hour ago. And Tillamook going to end up jumping. So this will bring the ball right back to about 2nd and 8 after the encroachment offsides. That's the way you want to do it if you're Henley. Give yourself a chance to get those first downs. Keep the clock moving.
Got 2.5 minutes left to play. I think we've seen the last of Tolson Higgins. They're going to rest him over there and make sure he's ready for next week. What a game. So many of these Henley players played a terrific game today. Connor Sieben stands out. That first half, he made a lot of defensive plays out there.
Yeah, really was a trouble for that Tillamook offense. And Henley onto the ball quickly here. 2:11 to go in the ball game. Stork, 2nd and 8. And the snap is going to be a handoff to Northcutt. Northcutt, he's hitting the backfield, ends up keep going, and gets back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down coming up.
Slippery run by Garrett. He's played a good game as well. Colton Smith and Owen Sheen on the outside. Austin Fitz. Shaw's had a very good day passing. Just a lot of strong efforts today from the visitors.
3rd and 8 today for the Hornets on 3rd down. They've converted 3 in a row, as a matter of fact. They are 3 for 7 and have converted their last 3. So the second half has been much kinder to them. They're 3 for 4 in this second half on 3rd down. And deciding the play, and a timeout is going to be called by the Henley Hornets, their first of this half. So during the post-game show, going to take a look at the stats that we have right now. But before that, I'd like to remind you that little things can add up to big bills when you're buying, selling, or owning a home. That's why Coldwell Banker Home and Premier Realty's exclusive Beyond the Sale guarantees protect buyers, sellers, and homeowners from unexpected repair bills. To learn more, call Coldwell Banker Home and Premier Realty today. Kevin, these Henley Hornets and the senior group, they've looked real good, and I'll say this right now. One of the things that Coach Alex Stork told me in the pregame show this afternoon, and every chance I've got to talk to him, what he's told his team, just spend another week together, and these Hornets are going to be able to do that after this week.
Quality win. You know, Usually if you win the battle of turnovers, you win the game, and those 2 turnovers forced by the Hornets, they ended up being huge today.
Minute 18 to go in the ball game. It's third down for the Hornets. And a complete group of substitutions. The starter's day is done. The Hornets going to be moving on. This will be a handoff to Brennan. Bounces around to the outside. Gets a gain of about 3 on the play. Will bring up fourth down. Hornets going to continue to run down the clock. As you see a handful of guys out there. Colby Brennan is out there. Magnus Camby's out there along with Chris Janney. You're also going to see Nolan Northcutt in at quarterback. On the far side, I see Ryan Dotson, the junior, 6 foot tall, as a wide receiver. And good to see some of these guys. You know, they're not really going to get any legitimately meaningful snaps here, but it's good to see them out on the field, still traveling with the team. These guys that stepped up during the regular season and played a lot of second halves for the Hornets when the games got out of hand.
Absolutely, and very important in practices and in the whole team concept. So just a good group of kids this year, and it's showing off on the field as well. Just very well played game. What a season.
What a season indeed, and it gets to continue for the Hornets. They took the delay of game penalty, and now with 30 seconds on the clock, they're going to let it roll. And a timeout going to be called by the officials for just a minute. Not quite sure what exactly is happening. I think there might be an equipment issue with one of the Henley linemen. And they're going to let the clock continue to run. We've got a fourth down play coming up. Tyler Harper takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Brennan. Brennan stumbles forward, a gain of 5 on the play, and Tillamook's offense will get a chance to take the football with 18 seconds to go in the ball game. Kevin, this one just about sealed up, just a formality really these last 18 seconds, but while we get the chance, credit to this Tillamook program as well. They put together a great season, enough to host their first playoff game since 2002. That's 19 years where these Tillamook fans weren't able to watch a home playoff game, and they should be proud of this team because they played a great football game, especially that great first half.
Yeah, the final here is 35-14, but the game was a little closer than that.
Right.
Tillamook was in this for 3 quarters plus, and they have some players. They have some really good interior players and some good skill players as well, and I'm sure that they'll be back competing again next year.
One play, it's going to be a handoff to the near side, and wrapped up, brought down. It'll be a first down for Tillamook.
Colt Earls got himself a tackle.
I believe Tillamook is going to take, you can't take them with you, so Tillamook's going to take a timeout and run one more final play.
Try to get some kids an extra snap. This should do it with 11 seconds left.
1st and 10. And Bushler going to hand it off the far side to Reiger. Reiger has some room along the far sideline. He got a first down, a gain of 20. He's brought down at the 30. Goes out of bounds with 1 second left to go. And they're going to let this one roll, I believe. The Henley Hornets moving on. They win this one 35-14, the final score. We'll be right back with a post-game show on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Has been a presentation of the first round of the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Championships. Keep it locked right here, 104.3, 960 Sports.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quatrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
On Top Tree Services have one of the highest buckets in town. No job too small, no tree too tall. Operating since 2017, this crew's ready for your land clearing, tree removal, tree trimming, stump grinding, and fire prevention. On Top Tree Services offers same-day estimates. I can't mention this enough. If a tree falls on your house or vehicle, they offer a 24/7 emergency tree or limb removal. Give them a call today at 541-882-8707. On Top Tree Services, fast, easy, and reliable. CCB 216014.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Welcome you back to the first round of the OSA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Championships. The Henley Hornets on the road this afternoon, taking care of business, 35-14 over the Tillamook Cheesemakers. Kevin, 21 unanswered points for Henley in the second half, and that was the ball game, and they looked dang good doing it too.
You know, we've been watching Henley progress all season, and we talked about the complete game. And when you want to win in the playoffs on the road, you need to play a complete game. And we're talking about this, this offense that does so much. How about that defense?
How about them?
As you mentioned, didn't give up any points in the second half. Picked up 3 turnovers, an interception and 2 fumbles. They were instrumental in today's win. And the offense, I'm just so impressed with the talent and the maturity of that offense. No matter what the situation, down in distance or the weather or the road or home, Coach Paschke can call a play, and they can execute it. And being able to have that kind of leniency to be able to call anything that you want and have your team run it, it's very valuable. And the special teams is that third element, and you can't say enough. Not a single missed extra point, some good a blocked kick, and just a good all-around game. And Henley needed that. Without playing that well, they may not have won today. So what a great effort by coaches, players, and everybody involved in the program. Great win.
Come away with the final score, 35-14. Take a look at how it happened. It started out with a Trent Bushler 49-yard touchdown run on Tillamook's second possession of the ball game. Looked like Henley might be in for a little bit of a foot race, but they answered back with a drive that went 11 plays and took 5 minutes. Capped it off with a 3-yard Shaw Stork touchdown run. That would be his first running touchdown of the day of 2. Garrett Northcutt punched in a 2-yard touchdown run a little bit later on in the ball game in the second quarter. And later on, Trent Bushler again from 23 yards out. Capped in a Tillamook touchdown run for Bushler. That was a drive that went 6 plays, lasted 3 minutes. That was the last time Tillamook would see the end zone all afternoon. After that, it was Shaw Stork Austin Fitz and Shaw Stork connecting from 22 yards out, and then finally Tulson Higgins punching one in from 16 yards out. It was a running game. Shaw Stork looked fantastic throwing the ball today. He got Austin Fitz his third touchdown catch of the year. And Kevin, you and I have talked about it. I've talked about it with Coach Stork. Can Shaw Stork get it done in the playoffs? He didn't have to throw it too much in the regular season. He threw it a little bit against Hidden Valley, but you said it. He had his best passing game of the season at the right exact time.
Right, and it wasn't maybe a big stats day.
Right.
But he put good touch on the ball, threw it where he needed to throw. No turnovers, no interceptions, no fumbles for the Hornets. So, yeah, he had a terrific day playing quarterback.
35-14 the final. Henley Hornets moving on to take on Marshfield in Coos Bay. We'll give you an update on the rest of the bracket. We've also got a score update from Marist and Baker, the 7-10 teams taking on each other. That's going on this afternoon. Get your score update from that game coming up as we continue the post-game show. Henley Hornets taking care of Tillamook today, 35-14. It's the first round of the OSA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Championships.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Welcome back to Tillamook, Oregon, the site of today's first-round matchup of the OSA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Championships. The Henley Hornets taking care of business today, beating Tillamook 35-14. Kevin, they're booking a trip to Marshfield next week. You look at the Marshfield Pirates, they are the number one team in the state for a reason. I mean, they took care of Madras in the first round, 43-0. They've got a quarterback in Dom Montiel who is frankly ridiculous. He's thrown 37 touchdowns this year, 3,000-something yards. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but man, oh man, that kid is good. And Henley Hornets going to have a lot of preparation to do come next week in Coos Bay. Just looking at him, I mean, these Marshfield Pirates don't want to, spend too much time on him right now, but it's going to be a tough week next week for the Henley Hornets. Mazama also moved on. They're going to be playing Banks in the second round. LeGrand taking on Estacada. That'll be the 6 versus 3 matchup. Cascade likely going to be playing Marist. Last we saw at halftime, Marist was up 42-0 against Baker. So, that's the other game that is yet to be complete. Marist looks like they're going to be moving on. So, looks like we have our quarterfinal matchups, Kevin.
Yeah, and the one thing we'll have to see is whether it's a Friday night or a Saturday game. We don't know, and I really don't want to speculate. Usually when there's a lot of travel involved, that game ends up being on a Saturday, but we'll just sit tight and see what they decide. So we'll be in Coos Bay Friday or Saturday next week.
Coach Alex Stork, before the game, he told me that I asked him if he's going to do any tourist stuff in Tillamook with the team, whatever. He says, we might go check out the cheese factory. He said, might go check out the beach. I said, well, the beach's about half hour away. He goes, yeah, I looked at it. I told the kids to earn the beach next week, and that's what they did. They're going to Coos Bay.
Go back to the beach
right
once more, yes.
Yes, sir. A 35-0 win for the Henley Hornets today. That about does it for us this afternoon. Appreciate you being with us on the MyBasin.com Game of the Week, 104.3 960 Sports. Of course, you can watch an archived replay of this event and many other events on MyBasin.com. It's your home for everything going on in the Klamath Basin, from news to sports and everything in between. Find us online, MyBasin.com. Also, appreciate you watching this OSAA State Championship event. You can get more information on this specific bracket, the 4A Football State Championship bracket, 1A through 6A. Get all that stuff. Also, the volleyball tournaments, boys soccer, all that stuff is going on. Visit the OSAA online at osaa.org. Would like to thank the athletic director here at Tillamook High School, Lonnie Eggert, getting us set up in a great position this afternoon. Also like to thank their head coach, Kai Johnson, for working with the broadcast today, and also the folks over at Henley who make each broadcast possible, athletic director Jesse Hamilton and their head coach, Alex Stork. Next week On the road once again, Kevin, taking on the Marshfield Pirates, the number 1 ranked team in the state. They've steamrolled every opponent thus far, and the Henley Hornets the next in their stead. Will they be able to stand up to the Marshfield Pirates? We'll find out next week in the quarterfinals of the OSA On Point Community Credit Union Football State Championships. Once again, the final score this afternoon, 35-14. The Henley Hornets are moving on. For Kevin Petrick and Nick Bradford, I'm Josh Eldridge. Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your afternoon. We are signing off from Tillamook, Oregon.